Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back with more Matthew Rose. Today we are delving into lies your parents told you as a child. The one that stuck out for me was as a child. I only found about this recently actually, that used to have a lot of fish fingers as a child. Apparently, when I was little, they were veggie dippers. Didn't realise. Only way Mum could get me to eat vegetables. So that was, yeah, I thought all this time, nah, I don't like veggie dippers. I ate them like a champion as a child. So the more you know. Anyway, let's see. We've got about 17 minutes of parent lying to their children. This video only came out 3 weeks ago, so it's a very new Matt Rose. So let's get into this.
Child, I got upset after a button came off of my shirt. My mother told me not to worry, and that if I placed the button under a rock in the yard, the button fairy would replace it with a quarter. I believed it, and to my mother's dismay, she discovered I'd pulled the buttons off of every shirt in my closet. To this day, 40 years later, shirt buttons can still be found under random rocks in my parents' backyard. Christ, what happened when you learned about the tooth fairy? Parents are forever telling their kids lies. Growing up, you might have been told about the piss-activated dye in swimming pools, or that the ice cream van was the music truck. It was just a nice man who drove around playing music for the neighbourhood. One day I was at my neighbour's house when the music truck came by and found out the truth. I ran home and told my mum, "You're not going to believe this! The music truck sells ice cream!" Or that the crusts of bread were where all the nutrients are. Whoa. What? I've been telling my kids that because I thought it was true. Not lie, I was in my mid-30s before I realised the untruth of this, after I'd been baking my own bread for years. Literally 35 years old, trying to feed my 3-year-old when I realised my mum said that to get me to eat my whole sandwich, and I went to school for food science, for goodness sake. While a good night's sleep is important, sleeping the hours between 10 PM and midnight is the most crucial. Age 7? Fucking hell. I better get my ass into bed if I'm going to be asleep by 10. Age 17? Wait a minute. Why do parents lie? Well, my mother told us that if you waved to airplanes as they passed, they would throw you bubblegum.
What?
We were the idiots waving like goons at all the small planes overhead for far too long. When we asked her later why she told us that, she said, "When you have kids, look at the trust and belief in their eyes and see if you'll be able to resist messing with them." Some of these lies, though, I doubt you will have even heard of. Drinking Dr. Pepper would make my nipples fall off. If I misbehaved, Michael Jordan would retire. That the UPS truck was the up past sleep time man, and he collected children who didn't go to bed on time. If you eat yogurt too soon before you fall asleep, you'll dream and fall into cowboy land and be stuck until your family can get you out. A face with rolling eyes emoji. I still don't eat yogurt too soon before sleep. Cowboy land. My dad told me that the reason why police officers spend so much time at donut shops is because the shop owners actually need them there to shoot the holes in the pastries to provide them with the classic donut shape. I found out this was a lie when my dad caught me trying to get behind the counter at Dunkin' Donuts one time because I wanted to see the shooting. My dad told me he invented coughing/sneezing into your elbow. I was young enough to just accept it and move on without question, and I kept believing for way longer than I should have, until one day at work someone coughed into their elbow and I was about to say, "Hey, do you know my dad invented that?" And that was the first moment I realised how fucking silly that sounded. I asked him about it later. He's burst out laughing. I've never had a middle name. When I was a kid, I asked my parents why, and they told me they couldn't afford to get me a middle name as you have to pay for each letter, and I believed them all the way up until my daughter was born. The nurse gave me a form to fill out with my daughter's name, and I asked her, "Right, how much?" She said, "How much what?" I said, "How much, per letter, to name her." I've never seen a lady look at me so confused, and in that moment it clicked that my dad was joking. That planes leave a trail so that they can find their way back. That if the R on the Toys R Us sign is backwards, it means it's closed.
Damn.
That if I ran over the cord with the vacuum cleaner, it would suck it up and eventually suck in the whole world. During an exceptionally dark time, I said, fuck it, and ran over the vacuum cord. Nothing. Do over? Nothing. Try a different angle? Nothing. My disappointment was immediate and immeasurable. My grandmother told me that pinching gave cancer. I got pinched once at recess and just yelled at the person.
Ow! No!
That if I sleep with my socks on, I'll become blind. Mount Rushmore was a natural formation and the result of lightning striking a mountainside. Elton John's hair is stapled to his head.
Wait.
Please elaborate, please
Wait.
elaborate, please elaborate, please elaborate. If I
Wait,
went
what?
outside without telling them where I was going, elves would kidnap me and only let me eat broccoli. Man, broccoli elves are just the fucking worst. My mum
broccoli
said they
elves.
only named hurricanes after girls. Otherwise they would be hurricanes. My dad got
my God.
sick of having to listen to the kids' shows I watched as a child, so he told me that the Power Rangers and Barney the dinosaur died in the car crash with Princess Diana. So yeah, I couldn't watch him anymore. I didn't actually question it until I was quite old, embarrassingly. Jesus, we just tell our kids Cocomelon is broken on the TV. For some fucking insane reason, my parents told me Morris dancing was illegal. I just stored that as an absolute fact. You don't often come across Morris dancing in the UK, but anytime I did, I thought, oh shit, I hope the cops don't see him. I held this belief till I was about 20. When I was 5, my mum told me that the darker grains in wild rice were actually insects.
Oh, no.
Definitely believed it till I was about 12 and was served wild rice at a meal at a friend's house and exclaimed, oh wow, you guys eat insects too. Her whole family pretty much looked at me like I was on crack. Not a lie as such, but growing up in our house, we called over easy eggs juicy eggs. Tell me why I thought that was a universal term until I was 28 years old, ordering, I'll have the juicy eggs, please, in a restaurant.
Oh my
The waitress
God.
thought I was crazy. You know when little kids get hurt and they ask an adult to kiss it and make it better? Well, my parents told my sisters and I that that was called amputation. Every time one of us got hurt, we would run to the nearest adult and cry, amputate, amputate. Fast forward to when I was 16 years old and a 4-year-old I was babysitting hurt herself and was just wailing like no other. I asked her if she wanted her finger amputated, which just caused confusion. I later told her parents about her getting hurt and how I offered to amputate it. Same confusion. That orangutan was pronounced Orange Newton. I was told that jumper was a swear word and that I wasn't to say it. My parents heard me saying fork quickly, so it sounded like a swear word. My dad said, look, I know what you're doing, it's okay, but I never ever want to hear you say jumper. Car battery is dead. Do you have when I was a kid, the Like a Virgin video by Madonna was on TV, and I asked my dad what a virgin was, and he paused and goes, it's some kind of lion. Then returned to reading his newspaper, thought that was true for years. 10 years later, so you're still a virgin? What? Are you a virgin, mate? No. Do I look like a virgin? Well, yeah, kinda. What? Do I have a mane and a tail? Do I have sharp teeth and spend my time roaming around the Serengeti? What? What a crazy virgin story. You know that Brenda Lee song? Rocking around the Christmas tree. There's the part where she says, maybe we'll get some pumpkin pie. And I always thought she said, maybe we'll get some fucking pie. And my older brother indulged me and said, oh yeah, it's allowed on the radio because it's a Christmas classic. I think I was like 12 when I finally figured it out. My brothers told me vagina was spelled with a silent P in front, like pneumonia. I believed it until like 5th grade. Per vagina. My stepbrother told me that a power plant was a cloud factory to make clouds artificially. I believed him because I'd heard of the artificial snow machines that ski resorts have and figured it wasn't unreasonable to believe there was a machine to make artificial clouds as well. I was 13 when I said, oh, the clouds factory's off. No wonder there's no clouds around, in front of my dad, and he laughed about it for like 30 minutes. I still get shit for it today. On my 5th birthday, my older sister gave me a pack of gum. It was my first time trying gum, and I swallowed it. I told my sister, and she told me that because I swallowed the gum, I would die in 7 years. My mom couldn't understand what my problem was on my 12th birthday. Finally, before bed, I told her how much I loved her and that I hoped she would miss me. She said, what are you talking about? I told her that I was going to die before she woke up, all from an older cousin, that if you make eye contact with a Mexican man in Walmart, he will kidnap you. An alligator lives in my great-grandma's basement. His penis was so long he had to have help from his brothers rolling it up like a hose every time he got done peeing. Dad used to tell us that the signs you see for falling rocks was to warn you about an Indian named Falling Rock that would jump on the car. So when you see that sign, you have to be quiet so he won't hear you. I totally bought into it and believed it for too long. In our country, pedestrian crossing are usually labelled as ped-exing, and when I asked them what ped-exing means, they told me that these places are named after a Chinese conqueror, Pad Zheng. So bad that he's feared and respected by people around the world. Asked my dad what the red triangle button in the car was for, and he responded with, "Don't push it or the car will blow up." Traumatised and terrified me for years until the realisation hit me like a ton of bricks, thinking, why would they install a button like that?
Exactly.
That if I kept hitting the horn in the car, it would run out of beeps. I didn't know any different until I was 17 and learning to drive. The rumble strips on the side of the road are there to help people who are blind drive. When I was a kid, my dad told me it cost 25 cents to change the radio station to keep me from fucking with the radio in his car. I believed that till I was 14. Don't give strange ideas to some radio or TV broadcaster. EA Radio. We want to give customers a sense of pride and accomplishment when changing station. When I was a young child, I asked my mum how people transport their cars when they move to an overseas country. She told me that they just attach it and fly it along behind the plane. I fully believed this until I was way too old to actually believe this. This is amazing. I imagine a plane looking like one of those just married cars with all the cars in tow. Gravity makes all the nutrients go to the bottom of the banana, so you have to eat the whole thing. The last bite is the healthiest. Embarrassing revelation to have at 24. That your blood is blue until it contacts air. Are you telling me that's not true? That is correct. Yeah, your blood is not blue.
No, it's not
I
blue.
did not expect to wake up this morning and learn I've believed a lie for 21 years. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. My grandmother used to tell us that if we bite our nails, frogs will grow in our stomach. A little while ago, my cousin told me she had stopped biting her nails and asked if I still did. I said yes, and then dead serious, she said, "You know that causes frogs in your stomach, right?" She is 20 and in nursing school. When I was really young, I remember my mum getting a small ceramic pig from somewhere. Me, being young and selfish, asked her, "Where's mine?" She, probably having a bit of a stressful day, answered, "I ate it." That made me believe that the ceramic pig was edible, and for the next few months I would occasionally take it off the shelf where she'd placed it and try to take a bit out of it. The fact that it was too hard to bite through didn't deter me. I just figured that I hadn't yet learned to trick as to how to make it edible. I'm dying at the thought of you staying up at night figuring out the trick to eating a ceramic pig, trying it the next day when your mum isn't looking, failing, and then plotting for the next attempt. A college nearby has a cougar as its mascot, and they sell cougar cheese. My uncles told me long ago that it's made from the milk of cougars. I got older, about early 20s, and I saw a can of that and wondered how they milked the cougars. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. You can't just have a cougar milk farm with angry cougars hooked up to milking machines. I told my dad I wanted a horse. He said that if I found a horse egg, I could keep it as my pet. We never found one. Frowning face emoji. r/horse eggs. And what the fuck is this? If wiped my nose upwards with a sleeve or tissue, I was going to turn my nostrils inside out, and I would drown when it rains. Apparently my dad's brother had this happen to him and had to have little weights implanted in his nostrils so that they would sit normally. I fully believed this. My parents told me I clicked my tongue in my sleep, so that when I pretended to be asleep, I would click my tongue and they'd know I was awake. That girls didn't poop. Believed it from 5th grade till 9th grade, when my sister forgot to flush. I went in immediately after her, and there was 4 years of lies just floating there, mocking me. I was told that girls grew hair under their boobs like armpits. It didn't sound right, but I didn't know enough about it to dispute it. "You've not been to Glasgow then?" asked my dad. "How you know you're gay?" He said you get a letter in the mail.
You get... I'm gay.
Masturbation makes you deaf. So every time I did masturbate, I had this tense, scary moment where I made some noise to check if I went deaf. Yeah, what? I'm screaming! I could just see you, like, humming or something. I'm dead. Yes! Yeah, I usually did a light tap against a wall. That if you look through a door's keyhole, a gnome will stick its long, spindly finger through the other side and scratch out your eyeball. This is such a weird one. Parents gotta have sex somehow. 100% believed that if I left a pile of rocks under this tree outside our house, a fairy would come visit me. My parents told me that, so I'd go play outside. Stop saying it so my parents could smash. As a kid, I thought that girls get pregnant from kissing. I thought you had to spit in their mouth. I asked my mom where babies comes from, and she diplomatically said from a special passage inside the woman. For years, I pictured a butt cheek swinging open like a hatch and a baby dropping out. For a while, my wife, as a kid, used to believe that dancing would get you pregnant. She went to some ultra-conservative church school, and they told the students that dancing in bed is called the jizz jazz. I asked my mum where babies come from, and she told me a policeman goes inside the woman's belly button and just pulls it out. That seems like a weird job for a policeman to do. What on God's green earth? If you touch your belly button, you'll die. If you don't eat your vegetables, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will die. To encourage me to get off the escalator fast enough when I was younger, my dad told me that if I was too slow, it would suck me into it and I'd die. He also told me that Benjamin Franklin died this way. I used to believe that milk came from God's bones being put in an oven and melted. That you can trap a sound in a jar. My mom told us that you can't make noise while baking a cake or else it'll go flat. She bakes a lot of cakes. Son of a bitch. For real, my mum always said the same thing. Don't stomp or jump or be loud or they would fall. Fuck, I'm 39 and I've told my kids the same shit. I've always been careful to be quiet when they're baking. My mum told me if you turn the interior lights on in a car at night while you're driving, you can get a ticket. 2 months ago, my husband turned the lights on and I started yelling at him because I didn't want a ticket. I am 29. I'm 25 years old, and to this very moment, I thought it was a real thing.
I'm not saying I didn't know that was a thing, but I am saying I didn't know that was a thing. I know when if it's on, the interior light is on when you're driving at night. It does hinder what you see in front of you, but it's just, I don't know. I really don't know. But you know what? It is what
God damn it. I still believe this, that the dog went to an actual farm. Yeah, it took about 30 years before the realisation hit. Oh, you're unlucky. My childhood cat fared better, though. When I was 7, my mum told me it ran off and joined a gang of foxes, became friends with them, and lived happy. My sister told me that if you count all the stones of Stonehenge, you will die. I still don't know how many stones there are in Stonehenge. Well, I'll count them for you. There are... Whoops, you didn't finish your sentence. Let me count them for OP. There are... What are you doing? There's 1, 2, 3, 4... Reddit, useless as ever. Matt Rose will do it. Right, there's 1, 2, 3...
Dead. No Matt Rose Monday next week, I'm afraid. Why?
Oh, hey! My voice has completely given up the ghost after a very full-on couple of weeks. Don't worry, I'm going to rest up. I will be back as soon as I can. Skull emoji! Hang on.
Skull emoji!
Done it. Well done, Matt. Well done, Matt. So, what Matt Rose, lies parents have told children. I still believe the interior light one. I still do. But yeah, let me know what lies your parents have told you. Let me know any more Matt Rose videos you want to react to. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios. Goodbye.